This podcast is brought to you by Cascade CPA, a local professional services firm supporting Madison businesses and nonprofits with their various back of office needs. The firm aims to provide high quality professional services and be true business partners to small and mid market employers. If you're interested in accounting and tax advisory, Cascade CPA is committed to serving Madison and the downtown community. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Downtown Happenings podcast, where we talk about all things downtown. Today, we are honored to have one of the longest-serving members of DMI, Dane, and Claire Oleksiak, who is the executive director, with us today to talk all things Dane, downtown, the environment, you name it. Claire, how are you?
I'm great. I'm great, Jason. Thanks for having us on the podcast.
Well, and one of my favorite parts of Claire's resume is that she's a longtime downtowner herself with a history of working in bids in Washington, D.C., correct?
That is correct. Yes. Yes.
So you know our line of work very well. So,
I love public-private partnerships. I love seeing activated downtowns. Yes. And thank you for all the great work that you guys are doing at DMI and
well,
at Dane.
truly, I mean, we have been partners with you all for a very long time. We're so thankful for all the help you give in sustainability and resiliency in the downtown. I have been a proud partner and participant in several of your programs over the years of my time in the hospitality business. So just personally, thank you, Claire. You're an inspiration to work with, and you're doing so much good work for so many good people. So speaking of, for those that don't know as much, maybe as some do, about Sustain Dane, what is Sustain Dane? What's your mission, and what are y'all working on?
Yeah. So we've been around and working in Dane County for about 25 years in a lot of different spaces that all roll up to sustainability and community well-being. We focus on helping people learn, connect, and then take action for sustainability. And that can be for individuals and also for businesses. It can be for municipalities, for schools. So we're working with a lot of different sectors and helping them all kind of use sustainability as one of the lenses to make decisions and help overall create a better community.
Now, you have some programs that you've been running for several years, particularly with the business community. Sort of go over, if you're a business, how can you get involved in Sustain Dane and start making improvements within your own business?
Yeah. So, businesses have a big role and a big opportunity in sustainability. There is a survey that happens every year. It's called the Yale Climate Survey. And they ask this question about should corporations be, what should corporations be doing more to address global warming? And for Dane County, 77% of people that answer the survey said yes. So people really feel that businesses have a large role, have an ability to make a positive impact. And they do, and they can, and I've seen it, and it's one of the things I love about my job. So we run workshops, which are a great kind of professional development way for employees within a company to connect and get together, both get a kind of baseline of, where do businesses have the most opportunities, but then also to hear about what is also happening in the community. Because a lot of times being the first one, it takes a lot, and knowing that someone else done it, you can learn from that. We also have kind of ongoing workshops that are about a bunch of different topics around sustainability. So kind of similar to like the What's Up Downtown series, but those are places too to kind of continue with the knowledge and the gaining of information. That's in the business realm. Businesses are made up of people, right? And people oftentimes work in businesses. So we do see that connection. And we also do have programs around like recycling, for instance, which is a really personal thing, right? Every day we're touching materials. So we've had times when people individually might take one of our programs to learn for themselves and then want to apply that to their business as well. So there's a connection point there that we help with as well.
And as someone has participated in one of your programs several years ago when I was at Hotel Red on the business side, you made a marked difference in everything about our business, right? We did a lighting project with you all as part of, I cannot remember the name of the program, Claire.
It was used to be called Empower. We now
That's right.
call it
Thank you.
the Accelerate Sustainability Workshop, which happens in April because yay, Earth Month, like good time for businesses to take a half day and get together. But yeah, same as that program you guys are a part of.
I could not recommend it more. The amount I
Thank
learned
you.
from different folks, and honestly, what you all did to, of course, help the environment, but also to help the bottom line of the business. It was a double win, right? Which is what much of this work can be. I think we were able to reduce our electric bills by, it was 10 to 12% several years ago now, but it
Yeah.
had a market difference. And honestly, our guests noticed and they
Mhm.
were appreciative. And so it was a triple win. But working with your team was fantastic. And I will say one of the other bonuses was you met a lot of other similarly minded businesses, right? And sustainability resiliency could be one of those pots you're working in, but it also could be, your fair hiring practices or all of these different things that you're doing in your company. And I just want to say thank you for not only providing great feedback and information and truly helping, but also making connections between like-minded businesses. It really does excellent work. So Sustained Dane has been doing this for quite some time. Do you have success stories of where you have helped out, let's just say businesses in downtown, since that's who we are, with some of their challenges?
Yeah, definitely. But and kind of to add on what you were just saying, right? Being able to, reduce expenses, feel that you are, being a good, conscious employer and, contributing positively to the environment. Also, employee engagement and retention has also been a really big part that we've seen of this because a lot of employees today, especially if you're, maybe hiring newer employees to the workforce, they want to have their business have values and it provides a leadership opportunity oftentimes because not every business has someone or can they have someone that has sustainability in their title. And one of the things I've really enjoyed about working with some of these businesses is that oftentimes it is a employee that sees an opportunity and they really start to work to bring together a coalition and an opportunity to move that forward. So one of the examples that I really enjoy talking about is Illumina, the biotech firm. Um, so they have, and a lot of biotech firms, right, have these refrigerators that they need for keeping their samples and their materials cold. It also takes a lot of energy. So what this employee started researching and learning about is that the temperatures are set at negative 80 degrees Celsius. But if you just
I'm sorry, what?
negative
Negative
80
80
degrees
degrees
Celsius,
Celsius?
yes, right? So
That would cause some serious burn if I
yes,
walked in. Yeah.
right? What they found though is that changing that even by 10 degrees can reduce the amount of energy using by 30%. And each one of these refrigerators is almost equivalent to a house and how much electricity a house uses, right? And it was just one employee starting to think about like, is this necessary? Need this? And then doing research. And then we connected them. We have kind of a biotech group that gets together and shares their best practices. There's also a good amount of waste, that they want to work on. We have another firm that at Promega that actually got a baler on site to start managing their waste with all the plastic film. So they, are now taking care of it themselves to make sure it can get recycled because that was something that they saw and they wanted to take care of it. We worked with Overture Center. They're doing a lot of really great work now, looking at both their my meter, their use of lightings, but also looking at their water systems. And gosh, how old is that now? They're approaching like 25 years, 20
22,
years.
yeah, 22,
Yeah.
23 years
So
old.
they're
Yep.
they're kind of approaching end of life with some of those systems, which is mind-blowing to me because I remember when the Overture Center like first came. Um, and for them to start thinking about how do we do this better? And they talk about, there's so much advancement that have happened now where you can segment and, be thoughtful about how the building's being used in segments instead of having to heat or cool the whole building at the same time. The heating and cooling is oftentimes one of the largest energy uses of buildings. So, looking at that is important. We also have worked with companies like Thermostore who have added composting into their offices. There's a lot of businesses that I think have been thinking about the food waste cycle, and that's something that their employees have brought up to them. Same with Boardman Clark, the law firm downtown. That was one of their first projects that their green team wanted to work on, and something I think really relevant too. It's like every day you're making choices to eat and what to do with that. And getting that food out of the landfill is a really great way to reduce methane and then also just get the cycle going. If farm to table, table back to the farm, like this is a resource that is good for our planet to turn into soil. So that's another one. Fair Share Coalition, they worked with us looking at their Bike the Barns event and how they could actually make that into an event that was, low waste, maybe zero, getting towards zero waste. But different ways that they could divert it. They use, reusable, like the giveaways they were using, stuff that's actually reusable instead of something that'd be thrown away. But just kind of their whole process, and that was important. Um, let's see, what else? I don't know. Those are some examples to start. I don't want to dig into
I
any
mean,
of
you just
those.
gave five
I
super good
know.
examples, I think all to my members. And, I vividly remember as part of the Empower program, building a relationship with Ben Austin, right, from Findorf. Construction's, a big industry here in Findorf, and a fantastic company here in downtown, and all the initiatives that Findorf is doing to be a more sustainable company. And, Ben, obviously, that's what his job is as part of the group. But, you and I have seen him speak at Rotary about what all of these different companies are doing and getting that message out about all of the great examples that the things that people can do, small and large. I mean, Claire, it all makes a difference.
Right. And Ben is, Ben also took Empower before Findorf had a sustainability position. So I feel like
Oh,
Ben
was
is
he not at Findorf when he
He
and
was
I took
at
Empower
Findorf.
together?
He was at Findorf. He cared about sustainability and he
Wow.
brought that forward. And that evolved into this awesome position he has today that's making such a great impact. So shout out to him.
Shout out to Findorf and shout out to
Yep, there we
Ben
go. Yep.
Austin. I mean, honestly, Ben's a great person. If you don't know Ben, get to know Ben. I mean, his
He
passion is
can come on
amazing.
another podcast. He has some cool, and he's doing some really cool work internally. They've been looking at all sorts of different types of emissions within Findorf internally as well, and starting to chart out what the path looks like for them to start addressing. So he has a really cool sustainability story too. Can I add one more that just came to my mind?
All day. Claire, I mean,
Uh,
you with your great energy, we could go all day here.
So the other one is Easy Office Products. I bet you work with Gary some. They have an electric vehicle now for delivery. And that's one of those projects that was like on a goal and like, kind of we worked with them and they really have this ethos as well. And now it's happening. That's how they're getting around. So reducing emissions through transportation.
Well, somehow this all goes full circle because the paper that I printed your questions on came from Easy Office Supplies,
Oh
and I'm
my
hoping that
gosh.
it was delivered by. I probably
I
should have just
knew.
memorized them, would have been a little bit more sustainable. But I am not. When you're 48, good luck, right? It still I still need paper. All right, Sustain Dane is working on a lot of projects, but I know you've got some pretty amazing things coming up this fall with your summit and whatnot. Question I always want to make sure to ask is how can our members, either personally or with their businesses, get involved in Sustain Dane and start reaping the benefits of some of this really positive work?
Yeah. So I think the first thing I want to say is that we welcome everyone on whatever part of sustainability you're interested in or the journey you're in. We do not believe there is one way to be sustainable, right? And we want you to get involved where you have interest and passion because that's just, going to keep multiplying and there's going to be a domino effect. We've seen a lot of people really start with recycling. That's something that a lot of people in Madison care about, and a lot of people that kind of have come to the Sustain Dane community. So one way might be through taking our Recycle Better program and kind of learning about the ins and outs of recycling and then how that connect in with their individual life or with their business life. Um, the other way could be through attending one of our programs, right? Just come and get to know us. We have one coming up in September, which is about housing and sustainability. That program is focused on carbon sequestration. So that means how the plants, the trees, the prairies, even water can actually take CO2 out of the atmosphere and kind of help us, as humans, be able to offset what we are producing and live a healthier planet. Dane County Parks is doing some really cool work where they're actually doing soil samples to be able to calculate the sequestration that's happening from prairies in our community. And we're using that as
Who
offsets.
figures this stuff out? Like, I
Cool.
seriously, like scientists are amazing.
They're so cool. Yeah. So I mean, I think that this is an example of, what we do these quarterly programs is just, a topic that maybe to be honest, I know just a little bit about, but it's like, I want to know more and people want to know more and let's talk about it. We did another one about sustainable travel. We've done one about fusion energy. So all sorts of topics. So September, feel free to join us for that program. And then our big program to end the year is our summit. And our summit is our, uh, full day program where we'll have a keynote speaker, Arielle King. She's a former environmental attorney, now also runs the Joy Project podcast, which her phrase is she wants to make environmentalism irresistible. So I love the tagline. We were editing it, and our editor's like, "Is this even a phrase? Like, can you even use these words?" I was like, "Yes, this totally makes sense to me." So that'll be our keynote, and then our second presentation will be about housing and sustainability. So that's going to be, similar to what you guys are doing and building off what you guys are doing for your What's Up Downtown. We're going to be looking at, the built environment, both what exists here and then what also is being developed. We have a long-standing program looking at existing housing and energy efficiency in existing housing. So we're able to and analyze affordable housing for the most opportunities for energy efficiency, and then actually pay for the upgrades to happen. And this last week, we just were looking at the numbers, and the amount of savings from the buildings this year is going to be approaching 5 million vehicle miles traveled equivalency. So that much CO2 is the amount that's going to be coming out of our environment every single year through doing energy efficiency in these existing buildings. So I love the program. It also is going to make it more comfortable for the residents. It's going to reduce their utility bills, which is huge when we think about keeping affordability. So that's an area we're really passionate about, and we're excited to focus on it at the summit. And then we'll have a lunch, so good networking and all of that kind of stuff.
Yeah, definitely attend the summit if you haven't before. It's a wonderful event that you all put on. Claire, I cannot thank you enough for all you do to create that summit and to bring people together. All right. We didn't do this ahead of time, but since you're a downtown person and you're a native Madisonian, would you like to play a game called the Fast and Furious 5, where I ask five rapid fire questions and you just give me whatever answers on the top of your head?
Yes.
Favorite restaurant in downtown? A lot of thought into this one.
I'm not going fast enough, am I?
No, 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 please. You can go take as long
Probably
as you want.
Grays.
Delicious. Very delicious. What is your favorite downtown in America, not downtown Madison?
Hmm. I'm probably Washington, D.C., because that's where I spent time, and
Yeah,
I contributed to making it the downtown that it is. So,
at the Golden Triangle.
yeah.
Absolutely. Yes. All right. If you take an out-of-town visitor into Madison, what's the perfect downtown day?
Okay. Well, we would visit the square if it's in farmers market months, of course, do that. But then go into the Capitol and take them up to the rotunda so you can see that, which is always
That's a
so much
Madisonian
fun.
that knows that one. Good answer. Yep.
Yeah. Or that little like overlook, on the inside looking
Mhm.
down if it's the holiday season and you want to see the tree, see the those.
Yep. Although if you're
Then,
scared of heights,
yeah, maybe we'll check in with that. That. Um, oh, are you?
yeah, I am scared of heights. Yes. Ask Madeline. So producer Madeline set up this amazing behind the scenes tour of the Capitol. And at that time, we were able to go all the way up to the top of the dome,
Oh,
which is like, I
wow.
think, can't remember, 270 feet up. So the stairwell though is like this wrought iron stairwell that like of course has to curve with the curvature of the. I got about what a quarter of the way up, Madeline. I was like, no, I'll just guard the base. I'm good. You all just go up.
Just to
No,
make sure no
thank
one
you.
else comes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
Um,
Okay. So you
okay.
go to the observation deck. Sorry, I
Yep.
cut
And
you off.
then let's see if we got any young people in tow, any kids in tow. We'll head over
Sure.
to
It's
the
your
Children's
day. It's
Museum,
your
right?
day.
Do that. Especially my older kid will even do the playground outside now because it has, so much different stuff for climbing and whatnot. Then we will mosey our way down State Street, look at the shops, get some ice cream, and then end at the Union. Um, we found that fountain, the fountain in the front, probably is the name, like Alumni Fountain or something.
Yeah, I think that's right. Something
Yeah.
like that. We'll call it
So,
the Ilstrip Fountain.
okay, so the Ilstrip Fountain. I'm
Yeah.
not sure it was meant to be
I feel like
designed
I've
this
earned
way,
it.
but
Yeah.
there's just enough space between where the water comes over and where the fountain structure is that you can
Yes.
fit a small human in there.
Oh,
So,
let's not call it the L strip then. Let's switch the name because if it's dangerous, that'd be bad.
no, not dangerous at all. It's so cool. You have this wall of water.
No, I know. I
Uh,
know. I know.
so hopefully we have packed extra clothes for that as well.
Okay.
Um, and then, when if we have the time, if it's one of those days where it's beautiful and just going, I love just continuing along, walking
Hmm.
further down, maybe not all at a picnic point, but, just walking down and looking back
Yeah.
and watching the boats and yeah,
It is. I mean,
so
you get
beautiful.
out of downtown so quickly on the Lakeshore Path. I mean, you're
Yeah.
downtown still, but you feel like you're miles away. All right. You already brought the other question up. You're at Babcock. What flavor are you getting?
I'm so boring, Jason. I am a vanilla person through and
Oh my
through.
God.
I
You and
know.
my dad. My dad is the
Yeah.
same thing. He's like, I just love vanilla, and Babcock vanilla is the best vanilla. And I'm like, really?
Yeah.
What's the difference? And he's like, Jason, oh, there's a lot of difference. I'm like, okay, well, I'm 48 now, so you don't have to lecture me, Dad. But he
Last
loves vanilla too.
last summer, I did orders of cookies and cream ice cream one time. It was a big moment in our family when this happened. So maybe that'd be my
Did you
second.
enjoy that moment? It sounds like you've never done it again, though, so maybe you didn't enjoy it.
It was fine. It was right for
It
that
was
moment. But
fine. It
I think
was
I'm gonna go back
fine.
to the vanilla. I did
What?
maybe
What?
like kind of eat around the Oreo pieces at the end, and then they were kind of left in a little clump. So
Okay, for those that are not Midwesterners that are watching this podcast, which there may be a couple, when a Midwesterner says it's fine, that means they did not like it.
I guess
I didn't say anything
yeah,
bad
my
about anything.
expectation was higher right? Because I did something so different, right? So I had a really high
I,
expectation.
which, by the way, it is just vanilla based with just Oreos put into it. I
Yeah,
mean,
it
so
was
it
great
really isn't
vanilla.
that big of a
It was
difference.
really
I mean,
great vanilla.
you didn't go like orange chocolate chip or like Union
No,
Utopia or anything.
you, no.
Ew. All right, last question. Take some time to think about this one because you've done this for a living for a while. What's the best version of placemaking, the biggest definition that you've seen in a downtown in your time? It's really
Um,
brought people together, something really cool.
Oh, something that's brought people together. Okay.
Hmm.
So I really love the concept of the power of 10, which is if you have 10 activities you can do in a space, that's what makes it an amazing space, right? Because there's diversity of interests, you can extend the amount of time that you're in a space because I can bop from one thing to the next thing and all of that. So best example. Um, one of the projects I worked in DC was called the Yards Park. It's actually right near the Nationals ballpark if
Yeah.
anyone goes to see some
Yep.
baseball.
No, well.
And I think the thought we put into this, and we had a cherry blossom festival event, and there weren't really any cherry blossom trees down there, right? This was like new. It's like
No.
early
No, it's
development,
all new. Yes.
right?
It was
Like
a
the
Navy
early
Yard, right? Correct?
Right.
Before this.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, the town is celebrating, but I feel like that was one of my favorite things because there's a boardwalk, there's music going on, there's a fountain where kids can go in it. We had, arts activities going on. I'm pretty sure there was an inflatable because, might as well go
Of
bounce
course.
someplace.
Yes.
Um, so I think that was one of my favorite placemaking activities. Oh, there was also a whole bunch of art related to like Japanese culture there. So just kind of bringing together all of those things.
Well,
Um,
Claire, you are a ray of bright of sunshine every single time we chat. Thank you for honestly all you do for our community. You're a great connector. You're so passionate about making sure that everyone is paying attention to the environment and being more resilient. What you do at Sustain Dan is fantastic, and we cannot thank you enough for your partnerships. Thank you very much for joining us today on our Downtown Happenings podcast.
Thanks, Jason.
All right, everyone, have a great day. Thank you for your support. We'll see you downtown sometime soon. Have a great day, everybody.